Hi everybody, I am Little Ninja, and welcome back to another episode of Ninja's Empire. In the last episode we built an automatic potato farm over there, and this thing, the pumpkin farm. But unfortunately, this farm isn't actually running. Those are all from when I was building it. And the reason for that is that it requires a hopper timer to run pistons inside of it, and a hopper timer requires comparators, which means that we have to go to the nether to get quartz. So I have been getting ready. In between episodes I did a little bit of mining. I got some obsidian, and I got a bow and a bunch of arrows from killing skeletons, and some flint and steel, and I'm going to make new armor so that I have all fresh armor for going into the nether. And this is going to be a slightly more relaxed episode. I'll put down a temporary portal just out here somewhere probably, and do a bunch of exploring, I guess. So, yeah, why don't we get started? Here we are in the nether at last, and I just built a cobblestone shelter around the portal so that we can get in here in case of emergency and go through without ghasts seeing us and blowing up the portal. And I put the chest in here, and I went around collecting some stuff that was close by, and as you can see we already got quite a bit of quartz and some glowstone and magma block as well. So I'm going to keep running around collecting things, and I'll bring you in if I see anything noteworthy. And I'm pretty sure this is noteworthy, and the portal is just off in that direction by the torch trail, which is how I don't get lost in the nether, by the way. And yes, this means blaze spawner and possibly wither farm in late endgame in like episode 3000 or something like that. But yeah, so all kinds of loot, maybe a saddle or two, a bunch of XP, etc. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start exploring, and oh, and nether wart as well. Now we can make potions. Well, I'm not certain, but that looks like that would be where a blaze spawner is. Okay. No. 2 blazes, wither skeleton, I'm gone. Count me out. Bye. Actually, no, I really want to go die now. I just have this thing where I need to go fight something, because otherwise I'm not a man. Oh dear. I'm gonna die. Okay, so I thought they shot at you when you killed them, but apparently they only shoot so often. Maybe they have a cooldown of some kind. I wonder if the wither skeleton will be that easy. Except there's a second skeleton back there too. It's probably gonna shoot at me. Oh look, fight each other. There you go. Oh dear, I'm withered. I'ma die. Yep, that's the end of me. Goodbye, cruel world. Yep, they definitely shoot at you. And make fire everywhere, and they have an extremely long range. But there is a blaze spawner up there, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do about it. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a while. Right, so I think I came up with a plan that should work to disable the blaze spawner. So it's in a cage, and it's only accessible by the front. So we run up and quick block off the front with cobblestone and just take a few hits. We should be able to contain the blaze spawning, and then we can go up on the roof of the cage and make a hole in the middle and drop a bucket of lava in there. And then it will flood the room, and it will be bright enough that the blaze won't be able to spawn. And then we can start taking away the roof bit by bit, and making so that all the spawnable spaces is filled in with cobble. So, starting from the outside and working our way in. And then we can make a drop chute at the bottom and start working towards the XP grinder. Well, that was a bit catastrophic. Turns out the spawning space of the blaze is actually outside the cage range, which means that even though the cage was full of lava, the blazes were spawning outside, and I very nearly died. And so I'm just going to back off and give them all a chance to despawn and hopefully not get killed by something else while I'm over here. And then I'll go back in and open up all the area and let the lava flow until I'm sure that all the space that they could spawn in is open, and then I can fill it with cobblestone to be removed later when we make the XP grinder. So that took some doing, but I cleared out the entire active spawning area, which is 3 blocks by 9 blocks by 9 blocks, and the spawner is right under that source block, and then everywhere that in here that the lava is active spawn, and then this is where the walls of the XP grinder will go. And I've just been fighting blazes this whole time, and I kept hearing one and I couldn't figure out where it was, and then turns out it was out here, and it must have seen me through the wall or something and been firing and lit up this whole area of netherrack, which is interesting. But now I've got to clear out this space down here. So this is the bottom block of the active spawn, and you can see the lava is right above that. And then I've got to clear out this space down here and make like a drop chute and make a platform to work off of, because as you can see there's really nothing down there except for the pillar of nether brick that goes directly under the spawner, of course. And so I've set up this area, and this is the wall of the drop chute, and then I just have to dig away this nether brick and bring that down about 6 blocks out of range of the spawner so that it doesn't limit the spawner's mob cap, which is like 6 mobs or something like that. And so yeah, I just have to take that on down and then start making a funnel. So the drop chute area is finished, and originally I was going to have a design with a funnel that funnels the blaze down lower and lower into a 1x1 hole where you can easily kill them all. But I was looking on YouTube at some different designs, and there's one that I saw that I think I'm going to do instead, which uses the blaze wandering mechanics to make them walk into a small hole, and it's a lot easier to build and requires less redstone, but it does take a bunch of glass. So I'm going to have to go do some resource collecting and smelting, and then I'll show you how it works. Right, so I thought that we were going to have to go out and mine a whole bunch of sand and smelt it up, and then I went and looked in the chest under my furnace, and here I have all this glass, and it should be almost enough, because the first thing we have to do is change out all of these walls for a transparent block. And I could have used stairs, but I think glass will look pretty cool in the overall design. So now I've just got to tear down everything that I just built and replace it with glass. So I just did the top section, and this makes me really glad that this spawner was out in the open as much as it was, because the next thing we have to do is clear out an area from the floor below 7 blocks up and down and 10 blocks in every direction, and take out every solid block in that area. And I just opened up this space here, and that side's not quite done because I ran out of pickaxes. But this is actually 2 blocks higher than it is necessary, but I thought it'd be nice to just have it flush with the top of the entire build. So I'm going to run back and get a whole bunch of pickaxes and keep mining, I guess. Right, so I had a bunch of time today where I could play but not record again, and I just ground on and dug everything out and cleared out the entire space around the build except for this corner. And this is what makes the whole thing work. So this corner is completely solid, and the way it works is the blazes will fall down here, and then every so often randomly they will pick a block within 10 blocks radius and 7 blocks up or down, any solid block that they see, and they will path towards it, and it doesn't matter if they can get to it or not. So they could pick a block anywhere on the inside of this area, and they will path towards it until they get stopped by some obstacle. And here we use the trapdoor thing again, where they can't tell if the trapdoor is open or closed, and so they will path right over that. And we're just going to add a few more trapdoors in there to to make so that they always fall in the hole, and so that it's consistent. And then we will make a crusher at the bottom that crushes them down to like half a heart of health using a 6 comparator pulse extender. Anyway, then I am stuck with the quandary of how to get that cobblestone out, because obviously if I take the lava off, whoa, that that was unbelievably close. Okay, so as I was saying, if I take the lava off, the blazes are going to be spawning up there and shooting at me while I'm trying to dig the cobblestone away. But if I go from underneath and take the cobblestone out, anyway, that could be tricky. So I just have to not get killed by that ghast and remove that cobblestone, take the lava out, and build the crusher, and then remove this scaffolding block and fill in the glass there. So I'm going to go get rid of this ghast and then finish that up. So this is how the trapdoors are, and the way it works is the blazes think they can pass through and over these trapdoors. So these are here to keep them from getting caught on this block here, and then they just path right over here and fall down the hole. And now I can remove this scaffolding, and I put the crusher in, and so when there's a bunch of them down here, I flick this lever, and that moves that transparent block and it keeps them from jumping up and down. And then I push this button and it goes through a pulse extender, and that block comes out just long enough to suffocate them down to half a heart or 1 heart, I'm not sure, but it just takes 1 hit to kill them. I think it's half a heart. Anyway, the last thing I have to do is, oh dear, that was glass, wasn't it? That doesn't look like anything broke. Anyway, the last thing I have to do is remove that cobblestone and turn the lava off. The lida? Mixed 2 words there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that and kill that ghast. Well, the farm itself is now completely finished, and there's a few more things I want to do around here. One is, well, first is to build a cage around here, either out of glass or fence posts or something like that, to keep ghasts and also the blazes that spawn up there and there on the fortress from firing at us and breaking all this glass. Second thing is to put an enchanting area somewhere around here with bookshelves and the works. And thirdly is to build a tunnel with a nice minecart or something, so that we can get over here nice and fast instead of having to run back and forth and up and down through caves. So now I also had to put this half slab here so that they wouldn't see me, because if a ghast sees you when you hit it, or not a ghast, a blaze, if a blaze sees you when you hit it, it will get aggro, and the blazes around it will get aggro as well, and when they're aggro, they can float, which means that they wouldn't fall down this hole. And so you have to go, way off and let them despawn and then come back. But now that we're done blazing this rabbit trail, that took up most of the episode and was not planned at all, but now we have a nice XP farm. I want to get back to the original plan, which was to come to the Nether to get quartz to build comparators so that we can finish the pumpkin farm. Back to the overworld. I am sick and tired of the Nether. There are way too many critters here that shoot at you. And here we are in the maintenance tunnel of the pumpkin farm, which looks super janky, as all maintenance tunnels should. And this is the hopper clock and the pulse generator. And I cut a window in here so you can see on the inside of the farm. And now I'm just going to chuck half a stack of items in there. And that should be the pumpkin farm fully operational and automatic. All we have to do is stand around and watch the pumpkins flow out now. Flow out into what exactly? You've never finished building the storage system for this thing, so that will be next. I'm gonna just dig this away and make it similar to the one on the potato farm, where it's sort of like a root cellar, and just add a whole bunch of chests, and probably an item elevator, so it's not just way down in the ground, because that would have to be the top chest otherwise. So in the end I decided against the root cellar and went for more of a woodshed look, and I think it looks really good, fits in well. And now I just have to put this comparator in to finish the item elevator, and it works. Awesome. Now the only thing that's left to do is to put the hoppers in and cover up this dirt and put another spruce log pillar in here. Well, it's complete, and pumpkins should be flowing in. Aha. Anyway, the next thing I want to do is that I noticed that these villagers are mixed. There's babies and adults in here, and if we get a baby in our trading system, we're going to have to wait till it grows up to see what trades it has. So what I'm going to do is drop them down into a water stream and then have a mob evader where only mobs that are too high can swim up, and that will separate or leave the babies behind until they grow up, and then they'll come up into the extraction chamber where we'll have this minecart set up. And then I want to start working on the pods that will go around this square, and I've already figured them out. I went into creative mode and did a little bit of experimenting and figured out how I want to build them. But I'll go ahead and just do this elevator all in one go. It's really simple. It's just water and signs in a 1x1 hole up and down. Right, so that was more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but now it's done. And there are baby villagers down there. You can hear them, and you can just see them. And when they grow up, they'll grow up into the water, and they'll come up here and then drop down in this chute. And since there are no babies coming up here, we don't have to worry about the half slab anymore. So we can just run our minecart right under there like that. And this dispenser will probably get fed by the minecart that disposes of the villagers. And there's a hole here that goes way down out of range of the village so that you don't lose popularity. And they'll just get dumped down there, and then the minecart will probably go through a hopper line or something back into this dispenser. So the next thing to do on the villager breeder would be to start work on the pods for the individual villagers. But that is going to have to wait till later because I'm all out of time for today. And so much for a walking and talking episode, eh? We got distracted by the Blaze farm, we built the XP grinder, we finished up the pumpkin farm, and we started on the villager breeder. So I'd say it was a pretty productive episode. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.